Welcome back to the Explanation Pro channel. Today I'll recap an American thriller, drama film, called Eastern Promises. Spoilers incoming. The movie begins on a rainy London night. Ekrem, a young Turkish guy, enters Azim's barbershop, where Soyka, a Russian man, has his hair trimmed by Azim. Ekrem turns the sign from open to closed, locks the door, and pulls the blinds closed. When Soyka is presented to him as Azim's nephew, he becomes very anxious. Azim pushes his nephew to carry out their plan while also giving him a razor blade. When Soyka learns what is happening, he attempts to flee but is restrained. Soyka's neck is cut by Ekrem, who causes him to suffer terribly before he dies. Elsewhere, Tatiana, a little Russian girl, enters a shop barefoot and begs for assistance. Blood begins to pour down her legs as the cashier suspects she is looking for drugs. Tatiana passes out, and someone rushes her to the hospital. When they discover that she is pregnant, the physicians operate to rescue the unborn child. The baby survives, but Tatiana passes away. Anna returns home and sleeps. Helen awakens Anna for brunch on Christmas. Stepan asks her where she obtained the diary as he reads it in the dining area. Anna claims to have removed it from the deceased girl. He asserts that she is robbing the dead and that the deceased girl's secrets must be buried beside her. Anna arrives at the restaurant on her motorcycle and parks in front. Viggo Mortensen and Vincent Cassel's Nikolai and Kirill are making jokes as they pass through an alley when they come upon Anna securing her Ural motorbike. Kirill walks inside the restaurant as Nikolai drives off. The manager and Kirill's father, Semyon, answer the door when Anna knocks. Anna responds to Semyon's statement that the restaurant is closed by saying she is a midwife and has to talk to him about Tatiana. He lets her in after hearing her last name. As they stroll around the eatery, Anna realizes that everyone is getting ready for a significant celebration. When Semyon sees two young girls playing the violin, he advises them to improve and demonstrates by playing a piece for them. Tatiana says he doesn't know the whereabouts of Tatiana's relatives when Anna asks. He apologizes for not being able to be of more assistance, and she assures him that she will probably learn more after she has her diary translated. She is instructed to deliver the diary to Semyon tomorrow night so that he may interpret it himself. Semyon confirms that he is aware of her work before she departs. Everyone is having a good time and drinking back at the restaurant when Kirill receives a call. He checks sure the coast is clear before moving to a more private area to speak. Kirill informs Azim that everything is alright once the caller confirms it is. Azim requests that Nikolai wait outside while Kirill and Azim are driven to the barbershop by Nikolai. Nikolai works for Kirill and is advantageous for the position, so Kirill declines. As they enter, Ekrem, overjoyed to get tickets to a major soccer match, startles them. Azim bids him farewell and promises not to bring up their presence in the conversation. They visit the freezer where Soyka's corpse is kept. As he munches on some peanuts, Kirill jokes about the frozen body and claims that the deceased was like a brother to him. When Azim asks him to do so, he takes out an envelope filled with cash and replies that money equals respect. Police have located Soyka's corpse elsewhere. The lead inspector examines the corpse inside a tent. While incarcerated in a Russian jail, each member gets a tattoo with a special meaning. The inspector surmises from his tattoos that he was a captain of the Vori Vizakon and never bowed to anybody. He notices a letter in Soyka's jacket, which is another intriguing item. Semyon is surprised when Anna arrives early at his restaurant. He accepts her apology and invites her inside. She offers Semyon the pages of Tatiana's diary, which she has photocopied, to interpret. When he inquires about where the original diary is, she replies that she intends to give it to Tatiana's child once she reaches adulthood. Semyon claims he broke his rule and drank vodka. As a result, he won't be able to translate the diary until tomorrow. She replies that she can drop by again for the translation when he asks her where she lives. Nikolai pulls up with a highly intoxicated Kirill as she departs. Nikolai uses Kirill's key to unlock the door when Semyon shuts it in their faces. Kirill collapses to the floor and puts his head on Nikolai's foot because he is so drunk that he cannot even get up. While at work at the hospital, Anna cares for the infant, whom she has called Christine, while experiencing mental distress over the memory of her deceased child. When she wonders how he came in, Semyon surprises her and responds that there are always open doors. He refuses to go, claiming that he has finished translating the diary. The fact that Kirill is often referenced, together with information about specific unlawful actions he has engaged in, disturbs him the most. He requests that Anna refrains from bringing the diary to the police, saying that he would handle Kirill independently since he is a fine lad. He takes care of Christine before she departs and gushes about how ideal she is. When Anna gets home, she discovers Stepan reading the diary aloud while Helen records it in English. The text describes how Tatiana was beaten and thrown down the stairs by Kirill. He attempted to rape her, but when he was unable, he beat her much more. Semyon then started raping the woman and afterward gave her a ton of medications. Christine's father is Semyon. They learned from Anna that Semyon threatened the infant and translated the diary. Semyon agrees to offer Anna Tatiana's family's address in exchange for the diary. Stepan confronts her for being so stupid, and since the baby is in danger, Helen and Anna decide to work with Semyon. Nikolai and Kirill get a truckload of stale booze at the eatery. When Nikolai inquires about its origin, Kirill responds that, with his father's approval, they would give Nikolai more access to their personal and professional lives. When Semyon shows up there, he accuses Kirill of killing Soika. Kirill denies participation, but Nikolai informs Semyon that he is telling the truth. If somebody is going to be slain, Semyon says he doesn't want to be the last person to find out. Additionally, he claims that Soika's brothers could show up seeking retribution, but Nikolai promises to defend Kirill. Anna, Helen, and Stepan visit a restaurant and order coffee in the meantime. As soon as he enters, Nikolai joins them at the table. Stepan claims to have experience dealing with scum like Semyon since he was a member of the KGB in the past. When things have calmed down, Nikolai requests the diary. Nikolai puts it in his jacket when Anna slips it across the table. Nikolai ignores her when she asks Tatiana's address and exits the building. She is instructed by him to forget that any of this ever occurred, to avoid him, and to re-enter the building with the good people. Helen emerges from the building and pulls Anna back into the eatery. Nikolai signals that he will murder Stepan by placing his fingers near his neck and pointing at him while Stepan spits in his face. Nikolai reads Tatiana's diary while returning to Semyon's restaurant. Despite being relieved that he has found it, Semyon asks Nikolai to murder him because he is worried that Stepan has already read the diary. It is also stated that Soika was assassinated for disseminating false information about Kirill's sexual orientation. Semyon burns the diary as Nikolai watches, dousing it with vodka. To wait for Anna to finish work, Nikolai goes to the hospital. She asks him how he can continue to be like that and yet be good with it when he admits that he has read the diary. He changes the topic and provides her with Tatiana's family's address. He advises Anna to take care of Christine independently since it isn't an excellent location for a little girl to grow up. Semyon meets Azim in the restaurant's rear area, and Azim informs him that Soika's brother has murdered Ekrem. The brother has decided to keep Azim alive but must give up Kirill in exchange. Semyon is unhappy, but he instructs Azim to assure the brother that he will follow orders. Kirill explains that the cops stormed the brothel and asked for Kirilenko by name as he and Nikolai go through the kitchen. When they run into Semyon, he instructs Kirill to leave so he may speak with Nikolai alone. A little offended, Kirill dashes downstairs to get drunk. Semyon is pleased when Nikolai informs him he murdered Stepan. After that, Nikolai meets Kirill for a drink in the basement. The next day, Azim and Nikolai have a business meeting in a bathhouse. He claims it's a favorite gathering spot since everyone can see their tattoos there. As they put on towels, Azim and Nikolai undress. Azim begins to get dressed again as he excuses himself to visit the toilet. Azim informs the two goons who enter they have no idea who Kirill looks like that Nikolai is. Azim is spared, and they enter the sauna, where Nikolai is wearing a towel covering his head. He gets slashed across the breast by a thug. Nikolai assaults him and struggles with the sword. When that doesn't work, he attempts to escape by crawling, but the second thug waits for him and uses a different knife to cut his body. After forcing one of the goons to stab the other in the chest, Nikolai viciously fights with him on the ground. He grabs a knife, slides it under the bad guy's skull, and slams his head on the edge. Nikolai begins to shakily crawl away after being battered and bleeding. The second guy reveals himself to be still alive and begins to strangle Nikolai with his bare hands. The criminal attempts to attack Nikolai with the dagger he has pulled from his chest, but Nikolai gains the upper hand and stabs the criminal in the eye. Later, when visiting the hospital, Anna observes the severely injured Nikolai being rolled down the hallway. She walks into his room and inquires about Stepan's whereabouts. She will contact the police if he doesn't show up shortly. According to Nikolai, Semyon dispatched him to assassinate Stepan, but he didn't. Instead, he placed him in a hotel in Edinburgh and sent him there. Arriving at the hospital, the police officer who discovered Soika's corpse had a private conversation with Nikolai. Here, it is revealed that Nikolai is an MI5 agent working undercover, recruited to infiltrate the Vori Vizicone. He phoned in the raid on the whorehouse to assist Kirilenko and left a progress report in Soika's jacket. The inspector claims that the KGB/FSB and Scotland Yard are unhappy with how Nikolai has handled his work, and upon seeing his star tattoos, he becomes concerned that he may have gone too far undercover. He receives assurance from Nikolai that everything will be fine and that he can even lead the Vori Vizicone in London. The inspector objects to the proposal, but Nikolai assures him that all that is necessary is for them to detain Semyon. When he inquires about the charges, Nikolai replies that they will be for raping Tatiana, a 14-year-old girl. She cannot testify since she is deceased, but blood tests can show that Semyon is the baby's father. Kirill observes a little girl looking at him as he is inflated balloons for another celebration. Because she heard yelling and pounding last night, she asked him whether he and Semyon got into a fight. Kirill claims that if one of them doesn't respond, it isn't a fight, and he expresses anger at Nikolai's assault. Kirill then instructs the girl to go upstairs after seeing several police officers arrive outside the restaurant on the security monitor. Kirill queries Semyon about the intentions of the police after they have left. Kirill questions why they needed a blood sample from his arm and replies that they wanted to test it. Anna notices Kirill in an elevator about to close as he carries a workout bag. When she gets there, Christine's position is taken by Flowers. Nikolai and Anna cross paths again, and Anna angrily demands to know where Kirill took the child. Since Kirill doesn't know, they both go out to look for him while Kirill returns to the shoreline, where Soika's corpse is thrown. He takes Christine's exercise bag, which he picks up, and sits by the lake. He begs for mercy while sobbing. When Nikolai and Anna show up, he is ready to hurl Christine into the river. Nikolai informs Kirill that Semyon has gone too far and that they don't murder infants. Kirill is then forced to choose between Semyon and him. Kirill hugs Nikolai and admits he was unaware Semyon had arranged for them to meet at the spa. Anna receives Christine when Nikolai expresses his understanding. Later, we see Helen and Stepan preparing lunch as Anna engages Christine in play as she adopts her. Semyon is said to be behind bars for raping Tatiana. The movie ends with Nikolai alone at the cafe, his future undetermined. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please hit the like button and also subscribe my channel for more videos like this. See you in the next video.